Hey everyone, welcome back to Gravity Clubhouse Garage Clips. My name is Robert Sherman and we are back working on mindful mechanics. We've been spending time building a foundation of strength and stability and working on those exercises that build that foundation. We integrate now yoga into our practice, and in the video we use yoga as a great opportunity to build compound movement progressions and movement chains. Ground force reaction is a huge component of what is stability, balance, and coordination. So we use the glide board and the angle against gravity to facilitate not only increasing levels of activation, but in yoga we use a warrior series to pose to build strength, balance, and flexibility all at the same time. Active mobility, dynamic stability. This is where all those energy muscles come from, the muscles that actually help us move in life and sport. So in our progression that we did in the video, we started with the Warrior One position. We moved the glide board up the rails, moving down into that forward lunge. In that lunge, the dynamic stability of my front leg is now increasing just based on not having any ground force against the rails. So I have this sense of moving forward and moving back. So the muscles on the top and the bottom of my thigh are increasing just by holding that position. When I change my angles, the arm levers and the torso, my body also has to then accommodate for that change, feeling it all the way down into my feet. So as I move just through a lifted and lowering position, all those muscles are firing at much higher levels just to stabilize my body in space. Holding that lift, you start to feel how important maximizing that core strength is, and then slowly building that strength over time. The progression turns into a Warrior Two position. Now, when I open my hips, the muscles that stabilize my back and front also change. Turning my hips back to the front now, or into a side-facing position with my knee still facing forward, the change on the back of my muscles on the front of my thigh, both directions are moving now, increasing force front and back at the same time as that glide board's moving up and down the rail. If I extend my arms out to the side, it increases the amount of muscle needed. We deepen down into the lunge and we come right back up from it. From Warrior Two, the progression is going to move into what is a side angle position. So we fold that forearm, bring it right on top of the thigh. Now on one hand it seems like a restful place. What it really does is increase the activation on that entire left side of my body. In this position, the side facing the glide board. If I take my arm off my thigh, dynamic change takes place. The muscles increase the force, and just by changing the angle of that arm, even reaching further or pulling back, changes that dynamic stability. Comes back up. Working through that again, if I come down into a nice long sequence, drop my arm, reach the opposite arm over, I've got all my muscles firing at the same time. Builds increasing strength. Now, if I keep my legs, shift my arms, and change the angle of my body, now I progress into a much deeper back leg stability pose. The muscles on the back of my thigh are increasing and firing, and when I come back up, I can recenter my focus. So because of those two progressions, I can work the front and back of my thighs. Let's say now I want to change one more level. I'm going to take this dynamic challenge and build into what is now a rotational component. When I add rotation, my body now and force against my legs stabilizing on that glide board are going to fire up exponentially. So if we come from our Warrior Two position, side angle progression, and simply now, instead of coming all the way back up, turn my chest over my front thigh, rotate my back foot, all of a sudden those muscles change. So if I can just now play back to the Warrior One, I've got one level of activation. But if I'm going to change into a single leg, I want to anchor what is the glide board, shift, turn my hips, and then lift into what is a Warrior Three position. The arm changes. Right now, arms to the side, easier balance. Arms below my body, easier balance. Arms out in front, much more challenging, dynamic challenge. If I change lever angles against that same position, the increasing challenge and activation also changes. At no time do you feel like you can't come back down. Or if you want to increase the activation, flex that standing leg, increase that dynamic mobility, straighten that leg. Stability, mobility, back in position. We've got control. So working through that sequence, you can use as long or as short of that sequence as you need. But most importantly, maintenance of control is utmost. Thank you very much.